Howdy all, my name is ChucklesTC and welcome back to my Monoposto IndyCar series, where today we're going to be racing at Azerbaijan. Let's get into the spotter's guide first. Here, the number 9 Scott Dixon is rocking the Coke Zero Sugar car. In the 10 of Alex Below is rocking the Red Solo Cup car. For Andretti Global, Kyle Kirkwood is in the Pepsi car. And Will Power is in the Busch Light Apple Black car. For Dale Coyne Racing, it is still the Rockstar car for Dennis Hauger. And Ramal Grosjean is still in the Mountain Dew car. For Meyer Shank Racing, the Liquid Death car. And the Wendy's car. For Ray Hall, Letterman Lanigan, the Meyer in the whatever the sponsor is car. For AJ Foyt Racing, new car, the Miller Lite car. Sponsored off the logo on their Indy 500 cans from the past few years. And for Kyle Collette, still the Combatrons. For ECR, the Dollar General car. For Rossi and for Rasmussen, the Direct Supply car. For Juncos Hollinger, still the Agape Energy and the Oscar Mayer Wiener car. For Aero McLaren, this custom Aero car that someone put on the Discord, and this Velo car. For Team Penske, this Dayglow Yellow Menards car. Given a lot of Simon Pagenaud energy. And for Scott McLaughlin, still the Dex Imaging car. For Brian Reinbold and CTC Racing, the Monster Jam School Bus, and for Jimmy Johnson, rocking the Coors Light car. For the Coors Light Snake Pit. Then Prema is rocking the basic Prema. And then on Ilot's car, rocking the Krispy Kreme. And Scott McLaughlin leads in the championship by 34 points over Will Power. But let's get to qualifying in Azerbaijan. It's going to be wet for qualifying here. We'll see how that affects everything. And I have not, unlike when I did Indy Next, I do tend to run the Indy Next cars in my free time. Not these cars as much because they're so much newer that I haven't really practiced with them. But we're going to be sticking with Marcus Armstrong. So he's our first car to go out on track in this 8-minute qualifying session. So just like the Indy 500 qualifying in real life, this is rain shortened. And I forgot to switch the banners. That'll be done by the race. So, obviously this video is late, and I plan on getting out the Freedom 100 video on Saturday still. Getting the Indy 500 video out on Sunday is going to be a bit more difficult. But I am going to try. If nothing else, I will record it Sunday after the race. And then post it. But that way I have as much time to create fun paint schemes as possible. But we're going to be looking for a couple heaters. I know where those Penske's were just at. That is not a Penske. Whoa. Okay, well, Rasmussen's going to be coming up here in just a minute on. This turn, I believe this is not this turn. Yeah, that turn. Turn 7 for the Indy Next. When I was racing in it, it was a big trouble zone. How will it be for IndyCar? I do not know, as Armstrong is the first on a hot lap. But he has a lot of traffic to deal with, and they make him take a super tight inside lane. So he probably lost out on a little bit of time there, and he is a huge jump over anyone else on a hot lap. Schwartzman is the second on a hot lap, then Jimmy Johnson. Love how they always give me the in-car camera for Jimmy Johnson. But on other cars, I just can't get it. So we will be watching that pink car as Armstrong is now in traffic from the Prema car. It appears on the mini-map at least. Oh no, I was looking at the wrong pink. The car in front of him is Jack Harvey, I believe. It would appear so. So Armstrong is looking to set the pace here in a wet qualifying session and set the expectation for the rest of the day. As he comes to the line, his time on his first lap will be 1 minute and 26.140 seconds. Schwartzman will be next to the line. And he will set, whoa, a full second, 0.3 slower. Jimmy Johnson, a full second slower than Armstrong. Malukas, half a second slower. Oh, but McLaughlin goes faster by whole 0.8 of a second. Now Eilot to the top with the same time as McLaughlin. Rasmussen now to the top. Sir Scott Dixon. Christian Lundgaard goes P1. So VK, he set the fastest sector 2 not too long ago. VK goes P1. A very competitive time. But Pillow coming to the line very shortly. He's the only real challenger I can see down in the pack. Pillow rounding the final corner, or big corner now. Just a couple small corners left. As he heads to the line, will he be faster? Marcus Armstrong with first into the pits. Pillow will go P4. Kirkwood and Rosenquist also have good opportunities. Kirkwood will go pretty low. And Fro, where will he line up? P21 for Fro. And for Graham Rahal, it's going to be 23rd. Very accurate to oval qualifying for Rahal there. VK looking competitive for the pole with a 1:24.513. And Schwartzman a full, exactly 3 seconds slower than VK's first lap. VK will likely not get a second lap while you're doing this on wet tires. Okay, he won't. VK will not get a chance to defend. Lundgaard looks to gain 7/100ths of a second on a lap. Dixon appears not to be able to compete. Lundgaard will try to make it back around in 1:20. I don't think he's going to make it. The only one on track that I can see right now that I can't confirm will have another lap, or I'm pretty confident in, is Marcus Armstrong. Dixon just goes out for his second lap. He will not complete it. Lundgaard is my only maybe in the field, and he's second on track. I guess maybe if he makes it, McLaughlin might. But it's going to be 44 seconds. We might actually get everyone back to Malukas. Or no, back to McLaughlin. Armstrong will start a hot lap, and actually Jimmy Johnson was ahead of him on track. Okay, will Lundgaard make it? He will not. Rinus VK has to watch Marcus Armstrong and Jimmy Johnson attempt for laps to bump him off pole. Armstrong's first lap was over 1.5 seconds slower, and Jimmy Johnson's over 2.5 seconds slower. So a pair of drivers at the very end of the field looking to knock off the top dog. Will they have a chance? I mean, it seems like a pretty competitive time. We see Rasmussen and Power still on track. JJ has 2 big turns left, and now it's coasting to the end. Will Jimmy Johnson improve on his time? He will. He goes to 17th. Armstrong goes to 12th. Rinus VK is your pole winner for Juncos Hollinger Racing. Christian Lundgaard will start second. Scott Dixon in third. Alex Blow fourth. Will Power fifth. Christian Rasmussen sixth. Alexander Rossi seventh. Santino Ferrucci eighth. Jack Harvey ninth. Pato Ward 10th. And Mick Schumacher in 11th. Marcus Armstrong 12th. Romain Grosjean 13th. Kyle Collette 14th. Dennis Hauger 15th. Callum Ilott 16th. Scott McLaughlin 17th. Jimmy Johnson 18th. Kyle Kirkwood 19th. Stingray Rob 20th. 21st is David Malukas. 22nd, Felix Rosenquist. 23rd, Graham Rahal. And 24th, Robert Schwartzman. We're actually going to maybe wait on the banners if we can get this to run. You see VK starting in first. It appears he's starting on the medium compound tires, which seem to be the choice here. We're going to send Schwartzman out there on reds, or on the green Waioli tires. And we'll see if this thing will hold in one recording. If it stops, this part will be cut from the video. There you see Dixon starting third. Lundgaard, instant huge jump. Oh, I guess he was on the wheelies. It's a bit of a strategy move from Juncos, I guess, who've been so competitive. Grosjean and Armstrong gets around. Grosjean went off track. Lundgaard stretches out to a half-second lead over VK. And that beautiful Velo Wild Berry car. We'll see if VK can challenge. Pillow has gotten around Sir Scott Dixon. Pato in 10th, Harvey in 9th. Armstrong only down to 13th, and Grosjean in 12th. Lundgaard up to his second lead, a little bit more. Understand, though, he is on the faster tire for the start at least. Um, but it falls off quicker than these medium tires. Schwartzman, the guy who we call strategy for, is up 2 positions from the start of the race, getting past Kyle Collette, who fell a fairly decent way in Graham Rahal. There you see Dixon trying to close up on Palou and make a move. So let's see if the rear of this field can all get through turn 1 clean this time. And they will. So Armstrong gets around Grosjean, and Lundgaard sets the fastest sector 1. Felix Rosenquist, 5-second penalty for collision. Trying to look if there's any damage there on the Meyershank Racing driver. And Hauger's still back in 17th. Pano's now up in 8th. Harvey into 10th. Rossi 9th. Ferrucci 7th. Rasmussen 6th. Power 5th. Dixon 4th. Palou 3rd. VK 2nd. With a 2.3, 1.5 now. Second gap to Lundgaard, who just hit the fastest lap in the lead of the race. Rosenquist dropped to the rear after that contact. Moving our guy Schwartzman up to P21. Malukas and McLaughlin climbing their way up through the field. So we are already on lap 3. And there you see the softest tires. The green sidewalls are starting to fade as VK is catching up. I wonder if we can get an onboard shot from the Christian Lundgaard car. David Malukas has caused a collision. Oh, and then another one there with Romain Grosjean. 2 green cars. Maybe yellow? I don't know what color to call this car. But battling it out. And Lundgaard will dive into the pits, granting the lead to Rinus VK. Lap 3 is when the first car pulls in. Will you see Rasmussen? No. Will anyone follow the leader in? Oh, little Dave will peel into the pits to serve his 5-second penalty. And Lundgaard cycles out in P11 and goes on the hard black sidewall tires. I think if VK can make it, I mean, at least at the end of this lap, his tires, I don't really have a shot of them, but they appear to be in decent enough condition. If they are, if you can make it another lap or 2, they're starting to stripe. Not chunk away quite yet. But watch Lundgaard. If that, maybe just come in this time by, throw on hards and hope you cycle out in front of them. Because you're only going to lose 16-second gap. It's not going to get much better, actually. And you'll be on 1 lap fresher tires. We'll see if the leader does peel in. He does not. He goes for an extra lap. He's a 3-second gap over Palou. And 20 seconds now over Lundgaard. Power is the first to pit on the medium tires. Same with Ferrucci, Rasmussen. Pato, I'm sure. No, Pato stays out. So that's going to advance Armstrong and Lundgaard back up into the top 10. 18-second gap for Lundgaard with less traffic in front of him now. And a 2-second gap back to Palou. Yellow flag sector 2. Ooh, Will Power backwards. He sends Felix Rosenqvist around. Power and Rosenqvist will both get back going, but that slows down the cars who were still stuck in the first sector. Maybe a little bit, maybe not. As Lundgaard has cut it down to a 13-second gap. It's looking like this time by, if VK does pit, he's going to lose the lead of the race. We'll watch him this time by. As he does peel in. Palou will stay out. Dixon will peel in. Rossi, where will he go? Rossi looks like he's... Yes, Rossi peels in. Pato peels in. Lundgaard will move up and take the lead. Yes. VK will exit P3 on the track. Getting passed by Power there. And Ilott right behind him, but he should be able to get right around Power. He's on slightly newer tires, but he's 2 laps on Lundgaard on tires. With about a 3-second gap. Palou is the only car yet to pit with a 12-second gap. VK gets past Palou, or not Palou, Power. And moves up to P2. And locks in on a 2-second gap if I can hit the button on Lundgaard. There you see battle. Sir Scott Dixon and Santino Ferrucci. Dixon will get past Ferrucci, who's on the preferred tire, realistically. The softest compound. And there you see the visual representation. Palou struggling. Not sure why he stayed out. He had the preferred strategy call. He's going to have to pit this time by and suffer the loss. I mean, he should only drop to P7. So we watch the pit stop. He'll throw on another pair of medium tires. And Lundgaard will get past him, and so will VK. With a 2.5-second gap to Lundgaard. Palou now down to 6th. Ilott gets past him. It's another couple seconds back to Rasmussen. Ilott is the only car. Now him and Rosenqvist are still yet to pit. And Hauger. 1 second now. Under a second at times for VK to Lundgaard. Battling for the win. Maybe for a open spot if some silly season drama happens. You never know with this sport when it could be your last race. Oh, Romain Grosjean with a collision there with Felix Rosenqvist. They take each other out again. Rosenqvist is out. Grosjean will continue. Rosenqvist on a terrorism stretch ends it all. The virtual safety car ends, and it is a super tight gap to our leaders. Less than half a second. To the point where Lundgaard is almost a sitting duck here to VK. And about right as they hit the line, they will go back green. As VK now tries to line it up on Lundgaard. Getting the slipstream. Ferrucci now pits from P8. Or no, I think he was like P6. and VK will take the lead over Lundgaard, looking to claim his only second career win and getting big momentum heading into the Indy 500. And already stretched it to almost a second gap. Alex Palou sets the fastest sector 1. It is an 8-second gap back to him. So we'll be watching him. He has only 1 lap newer tires than VK. I don't think he can have it on VK. Maybe get up to Lundgaard. But the pole winner back out in front as Grosjean pit that time by. Same with Hauger. And Eilert is now the only car yet to pit. Seems to be a 1 pit stop strategy for most of these teams. So Eilert, you had to think, is coming in this time by. Oh, okay, he will. That was a weird line to take to get into the pits, but he made it in clean. Pato O'Ward will follow him in for his second pit stop. Same with Jack Harvey. Scott McLaughlin will stay out. Grosjean stays out. It appears that the rest of the field will all stay out. So now VK's stretched his lead to a 3-second lead over Christian Lundgaard. As Schumacher there gets off track a bit, blocking Stingray Robb. Or no, that's Kyle Kirkwood. Sorry. Dennis Hauger with a contact penalty. As VK's almost stretched his lead to a halt. He has now 5-second lead for Rinus VK. And Will Power's gotten around Christian Lundgaard. Will Power's on the same lap of tire. No, 1 lap older tires than VK. With a half-second gap now back to him. With 3 laps to go here in Azerbaijan, it is looking like the Rinus VK show. As the teammates Grosjean and Hauger, both with contact penalties, run in back-to-back positions, but with a pretty sizable gap between them. So now that in just a moment, when all of our cars complete lap 10, or lap 9, we will run through the order. In first, Rinus VK; second, Will Power; third, Christian Lundgaard; fourth, Alex Palou; fifth, Sir Scott Dixon; sixth, Christian Rasmussen; seventh, Alexander Rossi; eighth, Marcus Armstrong; ninth, Santino Ferrucci; 10th, David Malukas; 11th, Scott McLaughlin; 12th, Callum Eilert; 13th, Pato O'Ward; 14th, Romain Grosjean; 15th, Dennis Hauger; 16th, Jack Harvey; 17th, Kyle Kirkwood; 18th, Mick Schumacher; 19th, Robert Schwartzman; 20th, Jimmy Johnson; 21st, Stingray Robb; 22nd, Graham Rahal; 23rd, Kyle Collette; 24th, and out of the race is Felix Rosenquist, as Rahal gets past Stingray Robb on 5-lap old hards. And you see the striping starting to happen on the hard tires at 5 laps. Palou has moved up to 4th now. 13-second gap, and his tires must be getting pretty worn. Yeah, you can already start to see them chunk. And I bet it's probably around the same with Lundgaard's here. He's trying to go till the end. Palou may be able to make a move on him. As there we see Jimmy Johnson get past Robert Schwartzman for 19th. We'll keep an eye on that battle, as apparently it's one of the best on track right now. As Hauger is now at risk of losing a position on track to Jack Harvey. As VK comes around to take the white flag in Azerbaijan, 1 lap to go for the new Flying Dutchman. Looking to win his second race, his first for Juncos, is Graham Rahal caused a collision? Yeah, as you see a couple cars backwards there, it was with Jimmy Johnson. Ruining an okay day. But Rinus VK looking to win Juncos Hollinger Racing their first ever NTT IndyCar Series race. In his second career race after winning the Indy GP in 2021. Yellow flag in Sector 1 now. No idea what it was for. Eight-second gap to Power. 11 seconds to Lundgaard. 14 seconds to Palou. 15 to Sir Scott Dixon. Juncos built the car for the day. Juncos will try to carry that car into another street circuit next week at Monaco for the Indy 500. In huge quotes, as Rinus VK takes the checkered flag and wins it. He'll be followed by Will Power, Christian Lundgaard, Alex Palou, Sir Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi, Christian Rasmussen, Santino Ferrucci, Marcus Armstrong, and Callum Ilott. That is your top 10. And 11th was Pato Award. 12th, Scott McLaughlin. 13th, David Malukas. 14th with the 5-second penalty, Romain Grosjean. 15th, Jack Harvey. 16th with the 5-second penalty, Dennis Hauger. 17th, Kyle Kirkwood. 18th, Mick Schumacher. 19th with a 5-second penalty, Graham Rahal. '20th, Robert Schwartzman. 21st, Stingray Robb. 22nd, Kyle Collette. 23rd, Jimmy Johnson. Then out of the race and retired was Felix Rosenquist. And Schwartzman had 54% left on his car. As there you see your podium. In third place from Denmark, racing for Arrow McLaren, Christian Lundgaard. In second place from Australia, racing for Andretti Global, Will Power. And in first place from the Netherlands, racing for Juncos Hollinger Racing, his second career win, Juncos Hollinger Racing's first team win in the NTT IndyCar Series, Rinus VK. And I need to fix Lundgaard's flag there because that is the wrong one. Yeah, that shouldn't be that flag. But there you see your finishing order. Now let's see the points order. Will Power makes a 16-point lead heading into the Indy 500 to Scott McLaughlin. And Alex Palou is within 18 of Will Power. And Pato Award just 7 points behind that. And then 16 points Behind that is Santino Ferrucci. Reyes Fouquet moves up to ninth with that win. As next week, we move on to Monaco. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and come back next week for the Monaco Grand Prix. Thank you all, and goodbye.